Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Well, I've taken a couple of days off, and I just have not been feeling well. So, wonderful times, yes. Now, it's not something with my stomach issues. But today I want to talk to people who have gone as far as buying a glucometer and then hasn't really used it. You know, it's kind of like, oh well, it's too hard. I don't want my fingers to hurt. Well, now there's ones you can do any part of your body. And your finger itself, oh, I can't do this. Sorry, can I do it with this? Your finger yourself, around the tip, doesn't hurt. Now, just like the needles are super fine, the lancets are going to be nice and sharp. And can you reuse it? I wouldn't suggest it. I would not suggest reusing it. Oh, but, I can't afford using all those strips. Well, I know in BC, the government will pay for your strips if you attend a diabetes education center. Now, it was before we had to show our card to the pharmacist and then we get the credit. But now it's pretty well they do it all, and your blood tests tell what's going on with your blood sugars. Now, I think they call high blood pressure the silent killer. Ooh. But you know what? Your diabetes can have a silent killer. And I don't care if you're type 1, type 2, or gestational. You need to do your blood sugars. Just writing them down, or I think they finally got rid of, there used to be ones out there where you could think you were deleting blood sugars, but you weren't actually deleting blood sugars. Now, being a brittle diabetic and just being a type 1 in general, I do my tests 4 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and bed. Now, if I start feeling that, my blood sugar is going high, I will test. Like this morning, I woke up and my blood sugar was 21. And I didn't feel it. Usually at 21, I'm using the restroom quite a bit. Didn't even faze me. And that's got me a little worried. Because I used to be able to tell whether I was going up or not. If I reached an area of 13, I knew my blood sugar was getting to be a critical level. And your doctor can do a hemoglobin A1C test, but that's not going to help you if you're sitting at home. I don't feel well all of a sudden. What are you going to do? Just sit there and go, and end up flat on the floor and taken to the hospital? I'll let you in on a little secret. And this has been a secret, well, not really a secret, but we'll pass it off as a secret. Just the same as it's easy to control a blood sugar before it gets too high, same to go with a low blood sugar. The lower blood sugar I get, the longer it takes me to come up. And, with the fire department. But it's kind of weird. I'll let you in on, just well, since we're talking about lows right now, that it's all kind of out there. You hear them talk, and you want to answer, and all you can do is, trust me, I'm very good at that. I've done that a number of times. If you are severe low, you are going to howl, you're going to make noises your family has probably never heard. So don't let yourself get that way. If it just happens, fine, but don't let yourself get that way. If you've noticed you're falling quite quickly, check with the blood sugar. And if you fall to just, I would say, the top of your low chart, I would treat the blood sugar then. And usually, for someone who's not brittle, usually 15 grams of carbs, wait 15 minutes and test. If you are a severe diabetic like myself, you want to wait. No. Actually, I think they said give 30 grams of carbs and then do a test, and if I don't increase, try a different type of sugar. So for a while there, I was getting, what are they, Netco wafers, which aren't bad. They're really not bad, but they're, I guess, sometimes a little bit more complex sugar. And that was always sort of like the second line. You take your quick acting first. Now, just to reiterate, I am not a doctor. So if you are brittle diabetic, speak to your doctor. Well, any diabetic, speak to your doctor about how to treat low, or speak to your diabetes education center. Don't just do things because I say so. That's not my goal here. My goal is to prompt ideas that maybe you can discuss with your doctor. It's vital that we keep everyone's health up. This channel is not designed to hurt anyone. So if you're not feeling right, make an appointment to see your doctor. If it turns out to be an emergency or you perceive it as an emergency, call your 911. Because usually, if I can't get a hold of the endocrinologist on call, usually at least I can see a doctor in emergency. So testing. You need to test if you're type 1 diabetic 4 times a day. And then I would suggest 2 hours after a meal. Now, that's not every single day. That's not every single meal. Once a week, do breakfast after breakfast. See how high your breakfasts are taking you. You need to learn your body and how your body is reacting to the insulin. I don't want you tipping over the edge into DKA. And I will tell you a short story. One day my friend just showed up here. And I was walking back and forth in the kitchen. That's all I was doing. And he finally got me settled down in my bed. And he said, you don't look right. You're not answering questions right. So he called 911. Now, from his description, they probably thought, it's a problem diabetic. When they got here, my blood sugar was extremely high, and I was in DKA. I got nauseated. I didn't throw up, but I got nauseated. And they decided to transport me. And my friend, who's my power of attorney, said, send them away. And it's probably the best thing that could have happened to me. Of course I won't tell him. So diabetes DKA can sneak up on you. Anyway, do your tests at least 4 times a day. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye now.